2 years ago when you guys lost to Georgia in Athens after the game.
You said we're not ready for the big time. I saw your script.
2 years later, are you guys ready?
I hope so. That question got brought up several times last year, and my only answer would be that we played some pretty good football teams in the last couple of years since then, and either beat them or stood toe-to-toe with them right till the end. Standing toe-to-toe right till the end is not what we're looking for. We want our guys to play extremely hard and give ourselves a chance, and we'd like to finish it. I don't think there's any question our football team and our program is in a different light than it was 2 years ago.
Mike, with those high expectations, you have to at all temper your team as far as this isn't the end-all, be-all. If something should go wrong against Georgia and you do not win this game.
We haven't done that. I think as a coach, those thoughts always go through your mind because we have to play a lot of football games. But I want the players to be able to enjoy the moment. I want them to prepare well and practice well and put it all on the line because every week that question comes up in here, is this a big game? Every game we play is a big game, the way it is in college football now. And so the biggest one is the next one. So it's okay if they want to go that route and prepare. I would prefer they do that than to slow play anybody. You always get concerned when you play games that you feel like the team doesn't see it as an important game.
When you were a player, were you as resilient as they are? Do you remember being that way? I mean, because it seems like while a coach or anybody observing might think it is the end all, kids seem to recover a lot quicker.
Yeah, kids are resilient. They've got other things going on in their life that they had issues at home. They got a test next week. They got girlfriend problems. There's a lot of things that are going on with these guys. And so even though it's very, very important, it's never as important to anybody in most cases as it is to a coaching staff. And so being resilient is important. And I think, it's been so long since I've been a player, it's hard for me to remember much of that. But I just know that young people are much more resilient than adults. And it'll always be that way.
Coach, can you talk about Lucian Antoine, not so much about the player coming back from injury, but just more about him as a man and what he's been through to get to this point?
Well, he's come a long ways. He's been, they're from, obviously, long ways from here. How far is Haiti from here? It's a long ways. And his family comes over, they don't speak English, and they settle, and finds his way through high school, plays the game, ends up getting to a junior college, and can be somewhat lost. I think of myself picking up at 17 years old and going somewhere else and living and speaking a different language, how difficult it would be. Justin Blackman's played well. Josh Cooper has played well, and knock on wood's been healthy for the first time in his career. DeMarcus Connor's going to make more plays out there than he has. He was a tremendous role player for us. He was like a sixth man in basketball that you knew he was going to do his job, and nobody really knew who he was. He'll make more plays for us out there. Hubert Anium has improved and matured. There's a number of guys that are out there that have a good future. They just don't have any experience.
A lot of people said that about, remember a couple years ago, Des Bryant was the freshman to help Bowman. Is that where you see Blackman being? You see that next role player?
Yeah, it's hard to compare anybody to those guys. It's not really fair to say that somebody's going to be a Des Bryant or a Hartley Dykes or a Barry Sanders. He's performed very well in practice, and he's made plays in pressure situations. In most cases, guys that do that in practice ultimately do that in a game, so hopefully he will. Not yet. Close to doing that. It looks like now that we could play maybe three guys, maybe, and we're going to make that decision by Wednesday, so we'll know for sure which guys will play. So we can have those discussions with them to make sure they understand that they're ready. And, sometimes we get their parents involved, make sure they all understand what we're doing. So we're not ready to say that yet, but we'll have that done by Wednesday.
Mike, have you decided if you're going to shake hands pregame? You concerned at all about that?
I'd rather not talk about that subject. I don't want. I'm a guy that it's easy for you to pry into me and get me going on things like that. So I'd rather leave that alone right now, just because I'm pretty traditional, I just don't understand all those things yet. And we have a lot of things going on just like everybody else does, and trying to make a decision on what's the best thing to do, to whether to make a handshake before a game or not, is really something that's kind of gone by me until we can get everything else taken care of, like what to do on 3rd and 3 and things like that. But I don't know. What's your opinion?
If you don't want to, don't want to.
Anybody else got an opinion? I mean, I'm willing to. I'm opening it up here. I asked my 12-year-old or 13-year-old.
What did he say?
He said he wouldn't if he thought it was somebody that was going to be a competitive game. He thought if you were playing somebody who's really easy, it's easy to do that.
I think you take a chance on something happening. And they're kids, and they're fired up.
Well, that was our first concern is you have 110 or 15 out there that could potentially be in a uniform. They're going to bring approximately 70. It just takes one guy to pop off, and then I don't know that we could get it broke up before the game. That's one thing that concerns us. And I have a lot of respect for Coach Rick and their team, and I'm sure he probably does for us, but how do you control something like that? So I don't know. We haven't made that decision. And I have a lot of respect for Grant Taft and the AFCA, and that's where it's coming from. So it's a difficult decision. I had joked about it earlier. I know what Gary Ward would have done. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it.